Is it actually working? I think we're actually live. All right. What is going on? We're going to try this part through attempt number three. Had some issues with some of the software, so things weren't rocking and rolling. I'm a little bit behind today, and so I appreciate you if you're watching this now. Thank you if you are trying to figure out what happened yesterday. I did not realize that it wasn't streaming to the proper platforms. I've been on Instagram Live running my mouth, and I thought I was streaming here. But let's dive into this. I'm going to cut this a little bit here. No, I'm not going to cut this short. I still got to hit the right amount of time. I'm your host, Vernon Brown, representing Own Your Happy, teaching you how to own your happy Monday through Friday, 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central. We're talking about owning your problems. And when we're looking at problems, what I'm really specifically talking about is how a lot of us right now, and some of us, all of us are working on some sort of change, but some of us are getting our behinds kicked. There's lots of people getting their butts kicked right now. And, I get it. Some of us are in a different season of our life, but we're in a different season period. And that's just the reality of it. I'm not talking about like fall, winter, summer. I'm talking about, hey, look, I'm ready to kick some butt and things maybe not be going the way that you want. And the way I'm challenging people to look at things is people will spend hours, 30, 40 minutes or whatever, just talking so much about what's wrong and how things aren't going, just what's not working for them, right? And then when it comes time talking about a solution, this is typically what you get. I was like, all right, so what are you going to do? I don't know. And anybody, all of my clients know, you do not say IDK, I don't know. Do not tell me that. That is an excuse for you not to think. That is a reason for you to say, I'm just helpless and I can't do anything because things happened to me years ago. Therefore, I'm all options. I'm not knocking anybody's situation. I'm just saying, when you keep digging, after years of digging and working with so many different people, you start paying attention to simple patterns, right? Because when I would say, like, well, you don't know, well, you can't say, I don't know. What have you thought about? And then when you keep digging, you find out that a lot of people have not spent so much, they haven't spent any significant time on what the solution is. It's all about what's wrong, what happened, what they did to me, what happened to me, how people might be looking at them, but not what they are going to do. We are raised to believe we need to talk about what's wrong to get what we want. No, everything I'm talking about with owning your problems is owning the problem, not just talking about the problem, but owning a problem means you look at it full circle from the problem standpoint on the spectrum, but also on a solution standpoint on the spectrum. If we're going to spend 30 minutes, if we're going to spend 3 hours, we're going to spend 3 weeks, get into a place where we're stuck, frustrated, annoyed, bothered, whether it's financially, spiritually, mentally, whether it could be on how to become a better person, how do I level up my business, how do I take my life from a place where it is now that I can look back in 2 weeks or 2 months that I see so much exponential growth because I went after it daily, weekly, hourly, by the minute, that I can see some growth. How can I look at my life? People do not spend enough time there, because we might spend 2 hours, 30 minutes. When people come in, the lady that I'm thinking of right now got connected. We did our discovery session. And I let her know the very same thing that I'm telling you now. Great. I want to hear about what's going on, because you need to understand. Make no mistake. I'm not saying that we don't need to understand and then figure out what exactly does this problem encompass. What skill sets do we need to work on? What perceptions do we need to go after? What networking needs to be done? What manifestations need to come about in your life whether you get past that situation to understand it. But if we're going to spend 30 minutes doing that, we're going to spend the next 3 hours focused on what we're going to do to come up with a game plan. Now, to a lot of people, that's like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. That's a whole lot of work. And it is. But I would rather be with people who are tired from looking at a solution, who are exhausted because they tried things that might not have panned out, or even considered different paths or avenues to get by it, than the persons who are sitting back talking about what they did, what's wrong, and how they cannot get out of this. Some people might think that they're largely cursed. You are not cursed. Sure, sometimes you are going to have to eat a little poo poo in life. I'm sorry to say, it's going to get tough. It's going to be hard. And that's not life picking on you. That's not your genetics completely poo pooing on you. That's not your legacy, family's legacy, I should say, poo pooing on you. That's not. It's just one of those things. But what you could say is, what some people might say, and this is something that I even said, that, oh my gosh, because of where I was raised, that means that I cannot change my outcome. That is a complete myth and lie. If you want to change your reality, you got to put some more effort into these things. other than the problem. Own the problem. Owning the problem means owning everything. And a lot of people, if there's 3 steps, they get stuck on step one. Step two is the hypothesize. Step two is the fantasize. Step two is the daydream. And step three is to execute on that. We short circuit the system when we constantly piss poor effort, problem, piss poor effort, problem, piss poor effort, problem. But the only time we're finding solutions when you're sitting your bottom down after you got through a hard day of work at a job that you cannot stand, working in or on a business that is not growing, and you just want to sit back and say, "Well, I'm tired. I want to be like everyone else." Well, look, I'm here to tell you that that problem is going to stay there, because when you look at the amount of effort that you're putting into getting around it, is going to be directly proportionate to the amount of time it's going to take for you to get beyond it. We stop short, and I see it so often. I know it gets scared. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it gets tiring. I have been there. I have, quite honestly, with so many different things going on, I'm like, man, how do I do this? But every single day, it's about lining things up that you're going towards a solution. There's lots of reasons to complain. There's a space for complaining. There is a space and a place for complaining in our lives. But at some point, you've got to draw a line in the sand and say, as much as this problem sucks, I know I can get around this. If you took 30 minutes, and I mean 30 solid minutes from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. versus you watching whatever's on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I love all those things too, like everyone else. But what I do love is going to bed exhausted, because I said I got my butt kicked from working or doing some things I know I can do better in, that I know can improve. And then after I got done doing those things, I took 30 minutes and said, what can I start doing differently? How can I start getting more creative? How can I start level up my networking? Because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I see a lots of people who get, caught up in the fact they try to find the problem all by themselves, aka me. It's not always going to be up to you. Sometimes it's great for you to lean on some other people. Learn who you can trust. Learn how you can learn, practice, and trust in your own gut. Because more, in looking at this, how sometimes those solutions play off 10 those solutions pay off tenfold in your life. Because if you're noticing, maybe, you're not getting your business to the next level, right? And the lady I'm thinking of, she's trying to figure out some distribution errors that's going to happen in her business. And she's trying. And the question came about, who have you talked to who's had this problem before? It's like, oh no, I can't do that. And I'm like, well, how long do you want to stay stuck? Because see, your best thinking has got you this far. Your best thinking has got you this far. In many cases, the things that you suck at, lots of people thrive and have fun at. I love getting in the mud and figure out what exactly is going on, because I know I'm gonna be able to find a solution. I live off of stuff like that. I'm like, all right, we got this. This is gonna be fun. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people change. So picture you're stuck and struggling, trying to figure out what to do, beating your hot pot up, stress, worried, waking up, and all of a sudden you find somebody who gets excited about the fact, oh, this is all you have to do. Oh, take a few minutes and figure this out. Do you know what happens when you spend your time thinking about what's wrong all the time and you find someone who can find a solution just like that? Then you start playing this game. Here's the next thing. Why didn't I do this sooner? You don't want to do that to yourself. Stay creative. Start looking around YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all these other resources out there have so many options for you, but you got to take the time. 30 minutes, 7 days a week. Give it a shot. Take 15 minutes, or you just going to bed exhausted because you complained all day and thought about what did change. If you're not going to change, the problem's not going to do anything but get better or stay the same. Excuse me, it's only going to get bigger or it's going to stay the same. That doesn't work for me. That's not growth. We're raised to believe that we need to talk about what's wrong to get where we want. And that's worth repeating, because talking about what's wrong only gets you more of the wrong. It's not going to get you closer. But when you look at it from a solution standpoint to say, what are my options? Sure, you're allowed to complain about it. I complain and get in the car. I might sit there, have a little spat with my lady about it. Like, all right, I need to vent for a minute, and I get it off my chest and I go. We need that. That's part of us. But sitting back, seeing the same problem in July is that you're seeing back in December, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't. And it's not going to work for you, because by design, by you watching this, you're looking at it from a different perspective. This ain't fussing. This ain't preaching. This is just a perception that if you listen and get beyond what you don't like, maybe about how I'm saying it, or you could have used in other words and played the semantics game, or you could sit back and maybe consider, hey, look, I'm still here and I'm still noticing this. Maybe I should consider. Get beyond of what's wrong and start looking at how I can own this and get around that. Own your happy every single day, 30 minutes. I took 10 to talk about right now what you can start doing. Start thinking, start networking, start reaching out, ask people. People forget the power of asking. You would be amazed at how many people are willing to do favors, who are willing to sit and listen, and willing to listen to give you an ear. But you got to take some initiative to get around these things. Teaching you how to own your happy 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, making sure we're going to these holidays a lot happier, a lot brighter. Once you get around this, you're going to be so excited that you got around it. But then you're going to be annoyed that, man, I should have been doing this sooner. Don't play that game. I did that for like 15 years. Now I'm all about, hey, what can I do? Who can I talk to? All right, cool kids. I'm going to see you all tomorrow, making sure we're showing you how to break problems down, how to make them easier and, better for you. Peace.